On today's show, it's summer movie madness. Can Independence Day topple The Dark Knight, or will they all be upset by Bad Boys 2? You can probably guess who's on the show. Movie Talk starts right now. Special Memorial Day episode of Movie Talk here. And that is Dennis Tzeng. And that is Josh Hercules Macuga. Welcome back, buddy.
Hey, man. I'm surprised they let me in the studio, to be honest with you.
Dennis, I believe we were going to have the locks change, and we did not do it in time, so Josh has showed up.
He also snuck in, I think, for the Cobra Kai interview
I did.
a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I didn't sneak in.
Somehow that happened.
I didn't sneak in, Dennis. I kicked the door.
Okay, that's right. That's right.
Very happy to have both of you gentlemen on this very special episode of Movie Talk. Happy Memorial Day, everybody, as we honor those servicemen and women who have given their lives for this great country of ours here in the United States. All across the world, we're going to be celebrating summer movies, and before we do so, I want to remind everybody that today's episode is brought to you by our friends at Rode Microphones. Right now, you can enter the My Road Reel short film competition. $1 million in prizes is on the line. You can check it out right now. So basically, all you have to do is make a 3-minute short film in any genre you like, behind-the-scenes video, also of you using the Rode products. So you're making the movie with Rode products. Show us the behind-the-scenes vid as well, and you could win big. The entries are open until July 31st. So head to myroadreel.com right now, and you can win big, make some art out there, get some money. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me, myroadreel.com. So without further ado, we are going to celebrate the greatness that is all summer movies right now by having sort of a bracket. It's a March Madness, if you will, of summer movies. What I asked these gentlemen to my immediate left to do is submit their 10 to 15 favorite summer movies of all time. And wouldn't you know it, we got very different emails.
Shocker.
From both of you guys, as opposed to what you think constitutes a great summer movie. Dennis, if I can open with you,
Yes.
What do you think makes a great summertime flick?
I mean, first of all, it's got to be quality. It's got to be something that,
Wrong.
It's got to be something that is iconic, that you think of, oh, this is one of the best movies that I've ever seen before, and something that is a blockbuster that appeals to the mainstream. We're not talking about indie films here. We're talking about something that not necessarily the whole family, but a lot of fans would go out and see and just have a great time, and they would talk about it during the summertime when maybe they have a lot of free time, especially when you're younger.
So Dennis seems to like movies that are fun and popcorny, but they also really speak to the intelligence of the moviegoer. Josh, you prefer fat people on water skis.
Oh, yeah. Now we're talking, Dennis. Well, listen, you said top summer movies. And listen, if I'm going to go to a barbecue and people are talking about the new Star Wars or this old shark movie that's attacking kids at the beach, I don't want to be doing that at a barbecue. I want to be talking about a John Candy classic where Dan Aykroyd drags him across a lake, or perhaps a coming-of-age tale at the last day of school leading into summer. What is Memorial Day, Mark? It's the beginning of summer. Okay?
Yeah.
We honor the beginning of summer and the people and the men and women in the armed services, but mostly what we do is we think about the beginning of summer. The weather is warming, clothes are coming off, and what says that more than really fun movies? Yes, and they may not be AFI Top 100, okay? I get that, Dennis.
AFI 5000.
Whatever.
Some of these movies actually are in the
You ought to be
AFI
lucky I didn't
Top
put
100.
Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants on here, because that's a summer movie.
Okay,
what are you going to do with your summer? You're going to wear some traveling pants.
I think you're a little confused as to how this is going to work, because I am the final judge as to how these movies
what's
get
your
distributed.
how'd you become the official judge of this, Mark?
You just sit in the seat long enough, and they let you make decisions like that. So here's how it's going to work: is a lot like a March Madness bracket. We have them seeded 1 through 16. These are the best summer movies according to Dennis and Josh's list, and I peppered some ingredients in there on my own. But before we get to the top 16, we have to have what March Madness now does, what we're going to do here today, and that is a play-in game. So to determine what the 16 seed is, the movie that's going to be going up against arguably the best summer blockbuster of all time, we have a pool of movies that each one of these panelists is going to have to pick from, and then we'll go down the line from there. Now, Dennis might have one opinion, Josh might have another opinion. I am going to overrule if it's a tie situation. If you guys agree, great. You guys disagree, then I might have to step in and do some refereeing. It's probably going to have to happen today. So, to kick everything off, we have a number of movies, most of which were submitted by Josh, that are going to be the play-in movies. So I'm going to rattle off a list of 5 movies, and you guys tell me which one of them should vie for the 16 seed spot. Okay? Your movies are Can't Hardly Wait,
Woo!
the Jennifer Love Hewitt classic. Mike Dexter, a good bully in that one. And then we have Superbad. Hey, look, it's another coming-of-age high school comedy, followed by Bridesmaids. Did come out in the summer, shocked the world with how funny it was. Melissa McCarthy's coming out party. Turner and Hooch is another movie that is Tom Hanks, great, at the peak of his comedic powers. Didn't like what happened with the dog at the end, but that was the 80s for you. And The Great Outdoors, another movie featuring animals and big laughs.
That was 4 of my 10 movies for the 16th seed.
Mine look like a top list of top movies of all time, and Josh's look like a teenage boy hitting puberty, and his favorite movies he had seen out of the 100 movies he had seen so far in his life.
First of all, how dare you judge me thinking I've hit puberty, Dennis?
We are
Jesus.
3 minutes in. This is already my favorite episode of Movie Talk ever. So, Dennis, I gave you the movies you might not have been as familiar with because they didn't come from your list. Which one of those 5 movies I just routed off do you think is the best?
For me, it's Bridesmaids. It's not like, look, it's not like those movies. I've seen all those movies and I enjoyed them, but I never think of them as these big. I think like Great Outdoors made like $40 million at the box office.
I'm throwing numbers at
I
me.
think like Can't Hardly Wait made like $20 million. So I wasn't really thinking of those as summer blockbusters.
It couldn't hardly wait to get on DVD so people could watch it at home.
So for me, it's Bridesmaids. In terms of quality, and also it made a good, significant amount of money. It was a surprise hit with Paul Feig directing that, and Kristen Wiig being the star of that. And so I think, as far as my pick, that's definitely it.
All right, so he's going Bridesmaids. Josh, I rattled off 5 movies. You got to pick one of them to go up against the 16 seed.
I mean, my heart is broken that I don't get to fight Turner and Hooch versus Jaws because it's 2 animal classics, okay? But if I'm going to go with one, my favorite one on this list is Superbad, okay? You had Michael Cera as, kind of a breakout star from Arrested Development. You had Jonah Hill, who had just been the see-through heels in 40-Year-Old Virgin. None of them, nor when you saw this cardboard cutout at the local movie theater in Pittsburgh, you didn't really know what Superbad was about. You sort of saw the trailer, you didn't know, and that was a breakout comedy for multiple people. Michael Cera, Jonah Hill, Emma Stone, Bill Hader and Seth Rogen were already kind of established stars, but who knew that they could be like a dynamic duo subplot to these kids that really weren't movie stars yet. And all of a sudden, in one movie, they all became stars. And it's probably the best coming of age movie in the 2000s to 2010s where we are now, in my opinion. I think it's the last great coming of age movie. And nothing says summer like high school kids trying to find booze while going to weird house parties and messing around with a dude named McLovin. McLovin is an iconic character in movie history. Whether we like to say it or not, McLovin has become a lexiconographic name.
Oh,
Take that.
Take that. In the zeitgeist is maybe what you were looking for there.
Cody, look that up.
Both great arguments. I don't expect you guys to agree on a lot of these movies as we whittle them down to the greatest summer movie of all time. So Bridesmaids currently sitting at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, where Superbad is 87%, both very favorable movies. I'm going to give the edge to Josh Macuga, not because I think he made the better argument. I think they were both about tied, but he's got to get a win sometime, Dennis. So I think this is the one. Yeah. So Superbad is going to move on, narrowing, edging out Bridesmaids. And now we move into our first matchup. This is the 1 seed versus the 16 seed. That would be Star Wars: A New Hope versus Superbad.
Oh, yeah.
So, Josh, I will let you. I mean, I know you love Superbad, but come on. Going up against A New Hope, it doesn't have a chance.
Listen. I don't think of, man, I can't wait to go and watch a summer movie like a space opera. I'm sorry. For me, space is cold. It's not summer. Yes, they spend a lot of it in the desert, but that desert does not look like a fun place to be. You know what looks like a fun place to be? A weird house party in an unknown town, probably on the West Coast. What's a more dynamic duo than Luke and Han? Michael Cera and Jonah Hill.
You can recant these statements at any time. Again, you're not being paid by Superbad to be here tonight. You can champion the movie.
Emma Stone is a modern-day Princess Leia.
Okay, Dennis, can you please talk some sense into Josh?
Yeah, I mean, Star Wars.
McLovin is Yoda.
Star Wars is a classic, and after Jaws kind of created the blockbuster term, Star Wars is the one that solidified it. So, okay, summertime is the time for these type of movies that everybody's going to line around the block to go watch, and over and over and over again, and the characters are all iconic. Look, Superbad, I enjoy it. It was not on my list, and I just noticed that on the the 5 list that you presented before I picked Bridesmaids, which actually wasn't even on Josh's top 10. That was something that you added in there, so that wasn't on purpose. But I think Star Wars, it's no contest.
Yeah, this is a no-brainer. And Josh, I think I'd be wise to suggest you to maybe save your breath, because there's going to be movies you're going to want to fight for here. I don't think Superbad over Star Wars is the better summer movie. Is something that I don't think you're going to win a lot of those debates.
What has Star Wars inspired people to do? Okay, what is it? It's gone to space. We still can't do it. What has Superbad inspired people to do? Put booze in laundry detergent containers. Okay.
Yeah, it's a great noble gesture. It's a great coming of age ritual. Just don't drink Tide Pods.
Yeah,
I mean,
get a fake ID with one name on it.
It's a great movie. It's a great coming of age movie. But Star Wars, also, we see a boy come of age, and also it helped define what we know as summer blockbusters today. So you probably wouldn't have gotten a movie like Superbad unless you had Star Wars.
I'll give Star Wars this one.
At this point, I will also point out that the way that we did this is that, look, there's a lot of movies in the MCU that came out in the summer. There's a lot of Star Wars movies. There's a lot of DC movies, etc. So we took the best of the bunch. So Star Wars: A New Hope was the highest voted on from everybody here. That's why you're not going to see Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi, any of the prequels or Force Awakens, which came out in Christmas, so it wouldn't really count it, but anything like that.
It had to be released in the summertime.
Only one MCU movie, etc. So they're representing on their behalf all the other movies that came in those franchises, just packing a little bit extra punch for A New Hope. We move on, and our next matchup is the 8-9 game. This is the 8 seed versus the 9 seed, and this one is going to be highly contested for a number of different reasons. The 8 seed, the favorite in this match, shockingly, Independence Day, is the movie sitting at the 8 seed, and that is going to be going up against another alien, maybe a cuter, cuddlier, slimier, one that likes Coors beer, E.T. Independence Day going up against E.T. Dennis, how do you see this matchup shaping up?
Surprisingly, it's closer than I would have thought in my mind, because obviously E.T. is iconic, right? But when you're talking about, more to Josh's point, the summer blockbuster, Independence Day definitely fits that bill to a T, because it was one of those super dumb movies. Like, watching that movie, you're not in there for like some super high thought, think about this movie for years and years to come and debate about all the scientific stuff. It's just to see aliens blow up the White House, blow up all these iconic landmarks. And you have Will Smith fighting aliens. E.T. is, oh man, I mean, E.T. is a classic movie. It's tough for me, especially because if I remember correctly, I did watch E.T. at home on video and not in the theaters. So that may sway me.
So some age factoring in there as well. Dennis, the young Dennis, not old enough to go check out E.T. in theaters. Clearly you saw Independence Day in theaters. Josh, I got to ask you, did you and McLovin take a jug of laundry detergent filled with booze? Would you rather take that to see E.T. or Independence Day?
I got to be honest with you. We're talking summer movies. You stand up and cheer at the end of Independence Day. Yes, you're rooting for Elliot and the alien he puts on, but you're crying at the end of E.T. You're shedding a tear for a boy and his best friend alien. What you're doing at the end of Independence Day, after Bill Pullman has literally ripped your heart out with the greatest speech in the history of movies, coming from a fake American president who's also a fighter pilot, okay? They beat the nobody thought they could beat the aliens.
If I could stop you right there, the longer you explain the premise of Independence Day, the more I'm thinking E.T. is the better summer movie, so be careful.
Okay, but let me go with this one, Mark, all right? You have Will Smith, a pilot who just wants to be an astronaut, finally gets his chance, and he takes down an alien race. He's got to get him one of these. He punches an alien. Have you ever watched a movie where a human punches an alien?
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth. Boom, punches the alien, knocks him out. That's when we know that the aliens are beatable. They have human skin, da-da-da-da-da. Area 51 is proven to be an alien campground. We've known about it from the 50s, all these things coming together, and not only that, you bring the entire world together via Morse code to bring down these aliens. The entire world. What unifies the world like summer? Independence Day.
Okay, well, we're going to kick the tires and light the fires, and we're lighting E.T. on fire. He's done. He's done. So he's out of here. The government caught E.T. We're going to do a lot of testing on perhaps the worst botanist to ever come from his home planet.
Yes.
Independence Day moves on. We have not had an upset yet. That might be an upset to a lot of you people, but it's just as far as the seeding goes, the 1 seed has moved on. The 8 seed has moved on. We now go to the 4-5 matchup, and this one is a doozy because at number 4, we have Batman from 1989, the Michael Keaton, Jack Nicholson classic, and I'll remind you guys that you can have this go up against another Batman movie if it's in a different universe.
Yes.
And it's going up against The Dark Knight.
Oh, man.
The Dark Knight. The Christian Bale Batman is taking on the Michael Keaton Batman. This is just how the seedings work out, kids. So my mind is torn on this one because The Dark Knight is obviously one of the most critically acclaimed movies, really, of all time, much less just a comic book movie. But Batman 1989, it's one of those ones that I think of immediately when I think of a summer blockbuster, Josh. Which way you see this one going?
I mean, seeing this movie in the theater blew my mind. That entire summer was a Batman summer. Dark Knight was more of like a, can you believe, like, this was a really great performance, but it didn't have the same cultural significance that Michael Keaton's Batman did for that summer. For me, it is still my favorite Batman. You're gonna be like, oh, because Michael Keaton's from Pittsburgh. Well, that has something to do with it. But also,
he was known as Mike Douglas in Pittsburgh.
Correct.
Couldn't get that name because there's already a guy taking the Mike Douglas name. So.
Michael Keaton Douglas.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Michael Keaton. Nobody thought he should be Batman. He's Michael Keaton. He's the funny guy from Gung Ho. Michael Keaton delivers an unbelievable Batman performance. And with a lot of practical effects, this movie is so well done. And don't give me anything to argue in the fact that Kim Basinger as Vicky Vale is still the greatest Batman love interest in all of the movies. Every one of them.
Yeah, Dennis, I think if we were running the headline here at Collider News today, if Michael Keaton was cast, we wouldn't have said gung ho actor. We would have said Mr. Mom actor.
Yeah, Mr. Mom. Sorry.
Beetlejuice actor plays Batman. Do you like Batman 89 as a summer movie better than The Dark Knight?
Yeah, I mean, just like how we're talking about E.T. versus Independence Day. E.T. is a far superior movie than Independence Day, but I feel like Independence Day was more of a summer movie. Mm-hmm. I feel like Batman 1989 is more of a summer movie than The Dark Knight. Dark Knight is my #1 comic book movie of all time. But when we want to define summer blockbusters, Batman 1989, when I was a kid thinking about this movie, that was the first movie where the movie hype ever like really got to me, right? Yeah. Like, because a lot of the movies I saw on at home, on video, or there were certain ones that I watched, like even like Empire Strikes Back, I saw in the movie theater, but at that age I couldn't comprehend it, and there wasn't, but all the buzz about Batman 1989, it was crazy. It was like I was already like destined to love the movie before I even saw it. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna go surprisingly with Batman 1989.
Boom!
All right, Batman 1989 moves on. I only have one vote. If I wanted to change it, I couldn't, but I would probably go with Batman 89. I think Josh and Dennis both hit on this was a cultural landmark, and the entire summer belonged to Batman. Yeah. Dark Knight's a great, all-time, awesome movie, but this Joker, this is a big win for Nicholson as the Joker. He hasn't had a lot of wins against Heath Ledger as the Joker, but this is a big feather in Nicholson's cap.
Nicholson in this movie is like the White Snake to Heath Ledger's Nirvana, right? Like glam hair metal, bow, bow. And Heath Ledger's like, I don't like my life. Everything was terrible. Like grunge versus hair metal. Like that's your two Jokers right there. It depends on what you like.
Okay, I surprisingly get that metaphor.
Thank you.
Yeah, David Coverdale.
And that's it for Josh Macuga. Dennis, take the show.
Our next matchup is going to be one that actually might make Josh want to leave the desk because it is the 2 seed taking on the 15 seed. The 2 seed is the movie that started it all, Jaws. Kicking off the summer blockbuster craze is going to be going up against 2 Miami cops.
No! Bad Boys 2 against Jaws!
Bad Boys 2 is going up against
This is an easy
Jaws.
fight. An easy fight.
All right, then you have the floor, good sir.
Okay, here's the thing. All right? Dennis, you've been saying it for the last 2 fights. What's the better summer movie? Do you want a movie where people are scared to death of going to the beach, thinking they may get killed by a shark? 3 men on an old schooner out there fighting a shark? Nothing says summer movies quite like the struggle of people being scared to go in the water. No, you want people being psyched to go to the water. You want people psyched to go to Miami. You want people laughing. You want people thinking, holy cow, they just drove a Jeep through Cuban cocaine dens, taking down a Cuban drug lord, 1 pill of ecstasy at a time, 1 joke at a time, 1 angry captain at a time. Does the plot to Bad Boys 2, is it a little too much? No, it's perfect. Is the plot to Jaws a little too much? Yeah. That shark is unbeatable? You're telling me 3 guys with explosive can't beat a shark? Come on. We've all seen sharks. You put a thing through its eye, it's fine.
All right, Dennis, passion argument from Josh Macuga. Are you going Jaws?
No. Oh, Jaws, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not going with Josh. I thought you said Josh. Yeah, this is no contest. You're talking about a movie that, one of Michael Bay's better movies.
You tell me you get married later on in life. You have a couple kids. You take your kids on vacation to the beach. You're going to show them Jaws, or you're going to show them Bad Boys 2?
See, the thing about Jaws, you're right in that it scared people away from the beach. The thing about it is people loved it so much. They liked being scared. They went back to go see that movie again and again and again. That's why Jaws lives on. That's why we just did a top 10 Spielberg movies. It was the #1 Spielberg movie on our list for a good reason. It is a masterpiece. The way that it's shot, the acting, the directing, everything about that film. When I watch that movie, even though, yes, I do get scared to go into the water from that movie, it excites
ruined
me.
your summer vacation.
No, because I think so much about how much trepidation I felt and apprehension watching the tension in that movie. I want to go back and see it again. So for me, Jaws, no contest.
It was a summer phenomenon, Josh. Yeah. Jaws has been re-released in theaters dozens of times. Bad Boys 2 still waiting for that re-release that's really going to cement it as one of the best 90s action movies. I like Bad Boys 2 a lot. Jaws is going to continue to swim over Dan Marino and his cameo appearance in Bad Boys 2. I'm sorry.
Terrible.
Sorry, but I'm not that sorry because Jaws is
Jaws
awesome.
is done to beach vacations. What? I mean, I don't even know what the comparison is.
Okay, think about it,
yeah.
and then we'll move on, and
Okay.
we'll come back to you for an exclusive metaphor that might once again involve White Snake. Okay, your next matchup is the
Should've said Motley Crue, my
3-14
bad.
game, and the 3 seed is another movie that just seems to have dominated the entire summer it was released, Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg's legendary triumph with the CGI dinosaurs that look so darn realistic. They're going up against another movie that is both near and dear to, I know Josh's heart, my heart as well. Jurassic Park is taking on Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves in Point Break. This is going to be a tough one for you, Mr. Macuga.
Yeah, this is really tough because I love me some Jurassic Park. I don't think that any movie in the Jurassic Park world has come close, and I don't think there are many summer movies that had people talking quite like Jurassic Park did, right? But I think that Point Break was way ahead of its time. It was an action movie when the world needed action movies just like it. It has held up. It has stood the test of time. There aren't many action movies today, since then, that can compete with Point Break. There's Point Break, there's Die Hard, there's Bad Boys 2. Like, there aren't many action movies that can compete with it. But, I mean, it's impossible to go against Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was like, I went to see it in the movie theater 3 times. You talked about it all summer. I mean, even Jurassic World would be a terrible movie without Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I mean, Point Break, a good summer movie, Dennis, because it probably inspired a lot of people. Unlike Jaws, it inspired a lot of people to go to the beach for the first time or become undercover FBI, or at least go to Ohio State and try to be the quarterback. On the other hand, you have Jurassic Park, which just kept people going to the theater and talking about it all summer long. This is no contest for you as well?
Yeah, no contest. I like Point Break. It's well directed. Catherine Bigelow. There was one scene that I laugh at every time.
Which is?
When Keanu Reeves jumps out of the airplane without a parachute. Like, he's like, he's like, screw it. This is more important. And he just jumps without
That's pure FBI madness right there.
It's a fun movie, but it is not what Jurassic Park is. Jurassic Park, especially with first summer blockbusters, you're looking for spectacle. And Jurassic Park changed the game when it comes to that with the visual effects with the dinosaurs. You want to see dinosaurs. And Steven Spielberg, this is the top of his game, his directing. And so Jurassic Park, no contest.
Two movies that really changed the visual game and not necessarily just with effects are our next matchup. It's the 5-12 matchup, which always produces an upset, it seems, every year in the basketball tournament. How about now? The 5 seed is Terminator 2. Ooh. And Terminator 2, Arnold Schwarzenegger is back, like he said he would, is going up against our 12 seed, Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3 is the movie. They both effects revolutions for their, Toy Story 3, continuing the art of animation. T2, all that cool CGI liquid metal stuff. Dennis?
I'm going with Terminator 2. I think it's one of the best action movies of all time. James Cameron directed the hell out of this movie. The chase sequence with the motorcycle and the truck trailer in the LA River, like that sequence is amazing. All the effects, and this was before Jurassic Park in terms of visual effects, and it kind of led the way in a lot of different visual effects later on in movies. It created a lot of cool things that we thought could possibly happen in the future. So the story's great, the action's great, Arnold's back. I'm going T2. I mean, Toy Story 3 is great, but all the Toy Stories are good.
Yeah.
So, I don't really take the Toy Stories and go, 3 was way better than 1 or, 2. They're all pretty good. But I think, in the Terminator franchise, T2 is the best.
Are you saying Toy Story 2 is better than Terminator Salvation? You heard it here first. The Toy Story franchise on the whole, I think, better than Terminator, but the best of the best here, Josh. What do you got?
No, this Terminator 2, clearly. I mean, the beginning of that movie when it's just like a pan and it's dust, and then the metal foot just steps on the human skull and destroys it. You know what you're getting yourself into. But then to bring Robert Patrick in as this liquid metal Terminator that's basically unbeatable. I mean, there are few scenes better than when it explodes, he freezes, it like smashes to pieces and then coagulates together to form himself again. You got to imagine that James Cameron probably thought, I'm going to go to a bunch of VXX guys and go like, hey, I'd like to create a liquid metal human in a movie. And they're like, oh, mother of dragons. Are you serious, Jim? Come on. And he's like, no, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. He's like, all right. And then you see like 9 guys just looking at a chalkboard for a week. Like, how do we do this? Like, this is going to be impossible. And then they knocked it out of the park. They did it.
Pulled it off. They got Robert Patrick to be the T1000.
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 Look, I honestly probably would have voted for Toy Story.
Really?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of action movies on this list, and we got to have somewhere to dump the kids so we can go enjoy all these other more.
We had one to dump the kids. It was called Bad Boys 2.
Also, when you go see Terminator 2, you do dump off the kids somewhere else because they're not old enough to go see that movie.
Take them to the dinosaur movie.
At the 30th year re-release of Turner and Hooch. Duh.
Sorry, Turner and Hooch. You lost again. All right, our next matchup. It's been chalk so far. It's been all of the top seeds have advanced thus far. We have 2 first-round matchups remaining. The next one is our 7th seed, the Avengers, taking on the 10th seed, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 2. Dennis Tzeng, 2 huge blockbusters. What's your favorite summer movie?
Of those 2, it's definitely going to be Avengers. Harry Potter is something I enjoy. I don't love it like a lot of other people. I'm not attached to it. Avengers, I think on my list I didn't put it in there, but not because of the quality of it, but just because I think it came out in, was it May or April or something? It was like right before. I wasn't
It was before Memorial Day, but it was the
Yeah.
first weekend of May, which is kind of a date that the MCU has stamped as theirs until this year. When they stamped it as theirs, then they're like, we're gonna open our movie a week earlier, and you're not gonna say anything about it.
Yeah, the summer movie season has slowly been coming up for more and more forward. So in this case, I would go with Avengers. It fits the bill in terms of having. Look, my criticism of Avengers is that it's not really a deep movie, but for a summer movie, it doesn't really have to be. Yeah. It's fun. It's the first time we get to see all those characters combined into one, and there's a lot of cheering moments in that film. So I'm going Avengers.
All right, Josh.
This is an easy win for me. I don't even think Deathly Hallows Part 2 is my favorite Harry Potter movie, though I don't know how they were released. They're usually released around Christmas, so maybe this was a summer, maybe the only summer release for the Harry Potter movies. And this is the first time you'll ever hear me say this on any Collider show ever, but the Harry Potter books are 30 times better than the Harry Potter movies for whatever reason.
Oh, wow. That is breaking news.
I really liked the books. I thought the movies were fine. I mean, maybe Prisoner of Azkaban is the best one. But Avengers is a pretty damn good movie. Sans Hawkeye, I think that Avengers is, it is the best summer blockbuster we've had in the last 10 years.
Okay, so Avengers moves on, and we have one more first-round matchup remaining and one more chance for an upset in the first round. It's taking a pretty good shot. The 6th seed is Raiders of the Lost Ark. That's our Indiana Jones movie representing the franchise. It's going up against the 11th seed. God, I love this movie. Back to the Future.
Oh, my God.
This is a tough matchup.
Yeah.
Dennis, what's winning?
This is... My God. This has got to be the hardest one. This might be the hardest one that we're going to talk about.
That's why I stacked them like I did.
In the entire video that we're doing today.
Holy moly. You want me to take this, Dan? You want me to go first? You want to think about it for a second?
These 2 are classics.
Yeah.
Both of them are classics. Both of them are directed wonderfully. Both have lead actors that fit their roles exactly the way you want them for the given story.
Prominent Spielberg involvement. Josh, you seem to be. You seem to have an answer ready.
Yeah, listen, everybody knows that Indiana Jones is my favorite trilogy, but when I think of summer movies, I mean, I love Back to the Future. It has that like summer fun kind of vibe. Yes, Indiana Jones's adventure kind of piece, but it never felt like a summer movie to me. Back to the Future really feels like a summer blockbuster, like the kind of thing that everybody would be talking about. Indiana Jones, like, oh, this is amazing. I love it because I always wanted to be Indiana Jones. But Back to the Future is it's such an iconic movie in the fact that it is so simple. It's so simple. But
Back to the Future came out on July 3rd. It was the July 4th movie. It's, that's what people are getting excited about. Raiders of the Lost Ark, June 12th, 1981.
I'm going to Back to the Future.
Okay.
They're both up there for me.
Yeah.
It's a flip of a coin. I would just go with Back to the Future. It's a little more fun than Raiders of the Lost Ark, which gets a little dark. I remember I saw that when I was a kid, and the face melting scene at the end creeped me the hell out.
You know me and being scared.
So I'm going Back to the Future. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, agree.
All right, Back to the Future is the one upset we have in round one, and now we move on to the Elite Eight. Seeds 1 through 8 advance, with the exception of Back to the Future knocking out Raiders of the Lost Ark, which was highly perched at number 6. So our first matchup in this round is going to be the top seed Star Wars taking on another interstellar adventure, albeit one that takes place mostly on Earth, and that would be Independence Day. So, Josh, you have to argue against Star Wars because you wanted to champion your beloved 16-seed Superbad. Are you going to argue against Star Wars here?
Again, yes. Star Wars is a great movie. We all know this. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. But nothing says summer movies like a president preaching our Independence Day on July 4th as they beat aliens. It's a summer movie. Star Wars doesn't even take place on our Earth. It takes place in a galaxy far, far away. They probably don't even celebrate the 4th of July. Or summer. Are there even summer months? It's either a desert planet, a winter planet, or a bog planet.
It's a good point, Dennis. I don't know if the planets in Star Wars actually have seasons or not. It just, you go to the cold place or the summer place. That being said, are you going Star Wars or Independence Day? Josh makes a good argument.
I'm going with Star Wars. Independence Day, it's a fun popcorn flick to watch. But when you start to break down the story, especially towards the end with the what was it? They got like a MacBook and they were able to like connect it to the alien technology.
It was sick.
That's when it goes a little out of the.
I think it might have been an IBM WorkPad, Dennis, but
whatever it may be. But it's no contest. Star Wars all the way.
Yeah, and I think that I don't want to get too franchise biased because obviously Star Wars has a much better mythology and lineage than Independence Day does, but it's hard to get the stink of resurgence out of one's palate just thinking about these two movies. But Independence Day was just such a revolution, and Independence Day was just in the dark days of the 90s. With space and fantasy and stuff like that, like remember Stargate came out, that was pretty cool. Yeah. But it was a cultural landmark when Independence Day landed in '96, and it was just that was the movie everybody's buzzing about this summer. But Star Wars came out in 1977, and I mean, people lost their minds. They saw it 30 times in the theater. I mean, it took over the entire summer. People stopped doing any other summertime activity because they had to go see this. I think that we forget about that with how many Star Wars movies we've gotten. The very first Star Wars happened, and it was like a comet had hit Earth in a good way, and I think it's a little bit bigger of a comet than Independence Day. You gave a hell of an argument. You laid it all out there on the line, but Star Wars is going to continue to advance.
Cool story, Hansel.
To the final four. Zoolander is not being released in September or summertime, whatever.
You nailed that.
When Zoolander came out?
I think it was a February movie.
Yeah, I know Zoolander 2 was.
Yeah.
You talk about a sequel that's ruining the original taste. Okay, our next matchup is the 4-5 game, and that is Batman 1989 versus the 5 seed, and that is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Two iconic characters, Batman versus the Terminator. What do we got?
That's tough. I mean, this is another situation where I feel like Terminator 2 is the better movie, the one that I'll probably rewatch more and more over the rest of my life. But when associated with summer, I got Batman 1989 feels more like a summer movie, and it was such a phenomenon. So this one's tough for me. Oh man, I'm gonna go with Batman 1989 just because of the phenomenon that it was. Terminator 2 was great. It was an R-rated movie though. Like me and my friends, we
snuck in.
Yeah, we got we actually had one of our friends had a cool parent, and they like bought the tickets for us, and then we went in. Their mom did not, so that was cool. But all in all, Batman 1989.
That's all you need, kids. Not everybody's parents
Cool
have to be
mom.
cool.
Yeah.
You just need one group of friends to have one cool parent in the midst, and you're getting into Terminator 2. I got into Terminator 2 the exact same way. I think we had either a cool parent or we might have snuck into that one. But yeah, it was a huge movie. I don't think it was of the import of Batman was as far as the summer movie goes. But Dennis, interesting to see him, go to the side of the summer movie populace here, Macuga, because Terminator 2, he admitted, was the much better movie, but Batman is just such a summer feeling movie. How do you feel?
I think I'm going to go with Dennis on this one. This is the hardest one I've done so far because I love both movies. And for some reason, Terminator 2 has a summer feel to me because they're in California. It's sunny. Like you said, the chase through the LA River. But man, there's nothing. I mean, that summer of Batman, like you talk about the summer of Star Wars, the summer of Batman was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, Prince was everywhere. Batman Converse sneakers were everywhere.
Yeah.
The music's on the radio. It was happening, kids.
Yeah.
It was hip. All right. Batman advances, and now we have two matchups left in this round. Back to the Future is our 6th seed, and that is going to be taking on, this is a good matchup. Oh, boy. Back to the Future is taking on Jurassic Park.
Oh, man.
I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. This is why I'm glad I just get to judge in
I don't
case
know
it goes
what
to
to
a
think.
tie.
You're the tiebreaker.
Yeah, Josh, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future. Gosh.
Okay, listen.
These are two movies that we screened in the
Yeah.
Collider Video screening series.
Yeah.
I obviously love both of these movies. They're iconic. They're amazing. But for me, there's something really special about sitting down to watch Jurassic Park beginning to end that you rarely get to do. Whereas you can catch Back to the Future like midway through and finish it. Jurassic Park, sometimes I catch it midway through and I'm like, I really like the beginning to end feel of Jurassic Park. So I'm going to go with Jurassic Park because that is a summer blockbuster. Back to the Future, that's so close, man. I feel like I'm insulting like my brother and my sister together. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go Jurassic Park.
All right, Jurassic Park, by the narrowest of margins, edges out Josh Macuga's ballot. How about you, Dennis?
I mean, this is another close one. When it comes to the summer feels, I do think Jurassic Park is more associated with that. But I'm going to go with Back to the Future on this one. We did do that screening series, and we saw both. Both got a great reaction, but I noticed people were more into Back to the Future, including myself. And I'm going to go with Back to the Future.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is a position I didn't want to be in.
But here's the thing. I may go back on it because now I think about it. I feel like Back to the Future is the more fun summer movie.
All right, you can change it, but you got to find. I need a final answer here.
I'm going Back to the Future.
You're going Back to the Future.
I'm going Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Yeah.
Back to the Future has somehow
Cody
edged
Hall is
out.
back there. He's livid.
Wow.
Cody's livid.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, Cody, everybody out there watching, if it was a 1-1, I think I was going to give the edge to Jurassic Park simply because I just feel like that's more of a summery movie, but I wanted to be fair to everybody. And Back to the Future is going to, I'm not mad that Back to the Future is advancing. I will rewatch Back to the Future a lot more than Jurassic Park. I think summer movie-wise, I associate Jurassic Park more with the summer, but association isn't everything. And Back to the Future, Marty McFly and company are blasting from 1955 into the next round.
Mark, Zoolander released September 28th, 2001.
It's a good note for another day, Josh. We are going to continue on with our last matchup in this round, and that is number 2 seed Jaws, the granddaddy of them all, going up against the modern classic Avengers. Dennis Tzeng, a shark versus Tony Stark.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Mark,
Just-
Stark, and a shark.
Sometimes the gold just falls out of your mouth.
Yeah. Both are great movies, but one is, at least for me, more iconic, and that is going to be Jaws.
Okay.
So I think it's a better movie. It's more associated with the summer. Avengers, like I said, came out early May. Yeah, I think now we can say that the summer season starts then, but Jaws is just so tied to the summer.
All right, Jaws is getting the edge. Are you afraid of like, is this a horror movie thing?
Don't ruin my beaches, man.
Okay.
I like the beach. I like people going to the water, swimming in waves. Oh, I need a movie to ruin it for me, okay? It's Avengers.
Okay, to be fair, a lot of people still went to the beach that summer. They just saw a shark movie. So we have one for Avengers, one for Jaws, and now it's up to me to be the final arbiter here. And look, Jaws is great, but you have all these superheroes that we never thought we'd see on screen together, and they're finally united for the first time. What started out with Jon Favreau recruiting Robert Downey Jr., nobody even knew that he was going to be a good Tony Stark, and he comes on, he knocks it out of the park. We just have all these great MCU movies, and they're all leading up to this big cultural. Wait, I hear. Dun-dun. Wait, I'm hearing something from the water. Oh no, it's a shark. Jaws is moving.
Y'all are a bunch of jerks.
It's Jaws is the summer movie, man. It's the summer movie.
Yeah,
it could beat Star Wars for it all. I don't know what's going to be the best summer movie, but I know that we're down to our final four, and they are Star Wars, Jaws, Back to the Future, and Batman. So we're going to go to the 4 versus the 1 seed. Batman 1989 taking on Star Wars, A New Hope. Josh Macuga, is the fact that Batman owned its summer of '89 enough to topple perhaps the greatest franchise in
I don't know how many more times I can say this. Star Wars is not a summer movie. When I think of Star Wars, I think of like January in my basement watching a cold space opera that's very slow in the middle and decent at the beginning and fun at the end. From beginning to end, Batman 1989 is a summer friggin' blockbuster. Put it in the book, put it on the table, Batman.
It makes a good argument. I think that he involves weather a little too much.
Stop saying I make a good argument and voting against me.
Star Wars, I don't know that people watch Star Wars and they feel cold of outer space.
For me, I think this is where the nostalgia train is going to have to end for Batman 1980. It was huge for me back then. But Star Wars, I agree that it is a slower movie that builds, but that ending, when you're a kid and you see that ending with the Death Star and Luke Skywalker, and it blows your mind away. And it has, the ending is so good that you go back to it like as a child over and over again to get that feeling. I'm going with Star Wars.
I think the people at Batman are going to be very happy to hang a Final Four banner in their gymnasium because they made it to this prestigious
from the
benchmark. Look, and you know what? A lot of people might say that because I'm the one that's kind of ruling on this, and everybody knows I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I have argued for Batman 1989 on so many occasions. I champion the hell out of that movie. It is one of the best, not just comic book movies, nay, it is one of the best movies I've ever seen with my own two eyes. Star Wars is moving on. Star Wars is advancing to the finals, and it will play either the number 2 seed Jaws or the number 3 seed Back to the Future. Whew! Getting hot in here. Maybe not for Josh.
I'm Back to the Future.
Okay, Back to the Future.
This one, I'm gonna go with Jaws. This is close. Honestly, this is actually closer than you would think. It's just that I think Jaws is more associated with the summer, and I think it's just a film that, it defines the summer blockbuster.
Hey, what do you and your grizzly friends want to do? You want to chase a shark this summer, or do you want to go back in time? Gonna go back in time.
It's weird because Jaws has that scare feel to it, but there's an adventure aspect to it. When they go out on the water, just the three of them, and they're trying to chase down the shark, at least for me, there's a lot of fun in that, and seeing what them going up against the shark, they don't see it, just that impending doom, and also the ending of it's great. I love Back to the Future. But
okay, I know I've said this phrase a lot during this show that you made a good argument. Josh didn't really make an argument for Back to the Future. I don't know that he needed to because Back to the Future is just such a perfect movie in every way, shape, or form. I think that Jaws is going to move on.
You guys, I tell you what. You know what? I know what you did. You brought me on here to make me look like an idiot. Okay? Cody confirmed it, putting in the old score sheet. Okay?
You had many movies advance against all odds. I mean, if you give me Bad Boys 2 and Turner and Hooch and The Great Outdoors in an email,
and can't hardly wait.
Dennis didn't. Not every movie Dennis submitted. You think I'm going to put Unforgiven on the list?
I put Unforgiven.
Blockbusters.
Yeah, that was a dumb choice.
Yeah.
I love you, but I'm kidding.
All right, so Jaws is going to move on.
I'm just a sore loser, Mark. You know this.
Jaws moves on.
You've been there.
I have announced many Wildberries matchups, but now, Josh, you are put in the awkward position of arguing for one movie in a matchup with two movies that you have not championed throughout the duration of this match. So it is going to be Star Wars versus Jaws. It's so fascinating to me, and maybe it's just the opinions of us here at the table, but we're talking about the best summer blockbuster movie of all time. And Solo came out this weekend, and we had Avengers: Infinity War and Deadpool already, and all these great movies that we're spoiled with, and we still have a matchup of a movie that came out in 1975 and a movie that came out in 1977 for the crown for the best summer movie of all time. Star Wars or Jaws? Dennis Tzeng.
Yeah, this one's tough. Both iconic and both associated with the summer season, the summer blockbuster. They all check off the boxes in what you want to see in a summer movie. oh man, it's tough. And Star Wars, Star Wars has a longer lasting impact on the pop culture. It was a bigger phenomenon. It's the impact is being felt today. But I'm still gonna go with Jaws just because I feel like it's more associated, more than Star Wars, with the summer.
Wow.
And the summer season. What is it? The number 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'll say Jaws is the best summer blockbuster of all time.
Okay, so Jaws is number 1 in Dennis's book. Josh, would you like to ratify that decision? I mean, for you, it's basically a matter of would you rather be too cold in your basement in January, or would you rather be attacked by a shark?
Listen, I will go back. I can't go back on my words at this point, although I've done it many a time. Okay, and whatever. Okay?
You know what? Here, I'm wiping the slate clean. Have at it.
You can wipe your slates all you want there, Jag boy. But what I'm doing, Jag off.
I hope that means I'm a Jaguar.
Yeah, you're a Jaguar.
No, it doesn't. No, he went full Jag off.
Okay. Listen. There's 2 movies here that one is about summer and the other one takes place in space. I'm going Jaws. Even if it ruined beaches, every girl you've ever met in your life is like, I don't like the water because there might be a shark. Every girl I've ever dated has said that exact same thing. Okay, I'm not trying to. There's tons of dudes out there that say that whole thing.
It sounds like you're one of them.
No, I'm not. I love the water. Okay, but. Whatever, it's Jaws. It's more of a summer movie. I don't want to be earthocentric, if you will, okay? But these space fighting jerks out there shooting their plane in space versus a shark, the shark's going to win every time. You know why? Because sharks mean summer, Jaws means summer, beaches mean summer, not space and little green monsters.
Look, Jaws is the vote from both Dennis and Macuga. So sorry, you Star Wars fans, I don't really have a say in the matter. But if I did, I will tell you this. Star Wars, my favorite movies, my favorite franchise of all time. My vote for the best summer movie ever would go to Jaws. Because Jaws, to quote the mayor, this is a summer town. We need summer dollars. Jaws typifies everything about the summer. When you watch that movie, you see a town that literally its entire annual income is based on people visiting it during the summer. And then when you have a threat looming in the water that it could take down the entire Amity Island, it's so important in an age before cell phones and all of this modern technology to get 3 guys who don't see eye to eye on anything together to go out on a boat and take care of this monstrosity. They did just that, and Jaws is the winner for the best summer blockbuster movie of all time. It started the craze, and it still has not relinquished the crown. Dennis Tzeng, Josh Macuga, thank you guys for taking this tour of summer movies past with me. Josh Macuga, are you cooled down from...
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
Listen, there are other great movies out there that represent summer to whatever you want, okay? There's amazing movies out there. So go ahead and watch whatever summer movie you want. Do I agree with how this went? Absolutely not.
Is there a summer movie out this summer that you're like really excited to see? Is there one that's on your docket? Are you a Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom kind of guy?
Nah.
You see Solo, you see Deadpool 2.
None of these really are doing it for
Ocean's
me.
8, The Incredibles 2.
What about Mission Impossible Fallout? That one I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, it's not really
Skyscraper, The Equalizer 2.
We need like a beach craze movie.
The Meg.
Oh, Meg.
Giant shark. That shark is 3 times as big as Jaws.
Yeah, that could happen. I need something like I need another Point Break-ish kind of movie to really get me psyched for a summer movie.
Okay.
Again, I haven't really been psyched for a summer movie since.
Be careful, because the last time somebody said I need another Point Break, they actually made another Point Break.
Yes.
I'm not saying exactly a Point Break. I'm just saying, like 2 cops at a beach town trying to save the day.
What if the 2 cops are trying to kill the shark?
Okay.
There we go.
Now we're talking.
That's a movie.
See?
That's a movie.
Jaws Cop.
Yeah. From enemies to frenemies to now just good friends, we're all going to go skip into the multiplex to enjoy summer movies. Dennis, thank you for joining us here today. Where can the kids out there find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter @ThinkHero, Instagram Dennis.tzng.
All right, Josh Macuga, you made a good argument. Where can everybody find you out there in the social world?
At Josh Macuga, Twitter and Instagram, The Josh Macuga Show on YouTube.
Thank you, gentlemen, for showing up. Had a blast with y'all
Thank you,
today.
Mark.
Had
Really.
a blast with you fans. Now it's y'all's turn. Comment right now and let us know, what is your favorite summer blockbuster of all time? Is it the scary shark movie? Is it the really cold outer space movie? Is it any of these other movies or something that wasn't even considered in our little list here? Thank you so much, Collider Video. We will see you guys very soon. Subscribe right here. Go to myroadreel.com to enter the contest I mentioned at the top of the show. And until tomorrow, happy Memorial Day, everybody. Hey everybody, Mark Ellis here. Thanks for watching this episode of Collider Movie Talk. You want to watch more? Then click up here, or you can click right here for more great content from Collider. And if you haven't subscribed to Collider Video, do so right now and share this vid with your friends. Thanks for watching.